Assalamu alaikum children. Welcome to the science class for the grade 5. Today we are going to start lesson number 6, soil. So children, at the end of this chapter you will be able to recognize the importance of soil, as soil is a natural resource. You'll be able to describe the process of formation of soil, and you'll be able to identify the causes of soil erosion and ways of soil conservation. Okay, so let's start our lesson. Soil. The planet Earth on which we live is made up of soil and rocks. Soil is the uppermost layer of the earth where plants grow. See children, this topic already you have studied in class 3 and 4, as soil is the upper layer of the earth where the plants grow, where we walk. Okay, it provides the plants with nutrients and water that they need to grow. It also gives shelter to many small living things such as earthworms and tiny microbes. Without soil, most life on earth would not survive. Soil is such an important resource, so let us learn more about it. So soil is very important in our life as it is the uppermost layer of the earth which grows the plants, trees, crops, whatever the vegetation grows, it grows through the soil. Okay, so it is very important for human beings as well as some small plants also, which some plants and insects also, microbes, earthworms which live in the soil, which soil is the home for them. Okay, now we will see what is soil made up of. So as we are saying that it is the upper layer of the crust on the earth. So how it is made up of? Soil is made up of a mixture of clay, sand, rock particles and decayed organic matter. So when we take the soil, we can see in that clay particles, sand particles, some rock particles, like gravel and decayed organic matter. What is decayed organic matter? It's the dead and decay of plants and animal bodies. Okay, the decayed organic matter consists of the remains of dead plants and animals and is called humus. So this dead and decaying matter of animals and plants, it's called humus. Soil is not hard as a rock. There are spaces between particles of soil that hold water and air. So children, in previous classes, through the activity you have seen the humus. When we mix the soil, when we take the garden soil, when what half of the glass water you take, mix soil in that, then leave it for some time, what you will see? You will see that three layers are settled in the glass, like the gravel, which rock particles, they sediment at the bottom, then some sand will be deposited at the middle, and at the upper layer you will find the clay, very thin and soft clay. Okay, then on the surface of the water you will find some lightweight particles which will be floating on the water. That is actually humus. So what is humus? The dead and decaying matter of plants and animals. Okay, now we will see layers of soil. Soil is made up of three layers: topsoil, subsoil, and bedrock. Let's see this in detail. First one is topsoil. The top layer of soil is called topsoil. Obviously, the top layer of soil is called topsoil. It contains a lot of humus. It is the layer where plants grow. The topsoil is very precious. It not only allows plants to grow but also helps to absorb rainwater, which forms the groundwater. See this topsoil, which is loose and which is having more content of humus. So it is suitable for growing plants, and it absorbs because of the spaces between the molecules of soil. It absorbs water. Because of the spaces between the soil particles, it absorbs water, which forms the groundwater. What is groundwater? The water which is found underground, the water which we get from the bore wells. How do we get? Actually, the rainwater which will be absorbed by the soil, it goes into the ground and it forms the layer of water that is called groundwater. Okay, so topsoils absorb the rainwater and it is suitable for growing plants. Next is subsoil. Here in this diagram you can see, as we said, three layers of soil. Here the bottom layer, bedrock, okay, then second, parent material after bedrock, then this is subsoil which we are going to study, then this is top soil. At the top of the topsoil there is organic layer, uh, humus, okay. So let's see about subsoil. The layer below the topsoil is called subsoil. Subsoil contains mostly minerals and a small amount of humus. Only the deepest plant roots reach the soil. See, for the tall trees where the roots will be very deep inside the earth, they use the nutrients which are present in the subsoil. So subsoil also contains some nutrients and water content also. So these the deep roots which grows deeply below the surface of the earth, they absorb these nutrients which are present in the subsoil. Next is bedrock. The bottom layer is made up of solid rocks and it is called bedrock. A layer of broken rocks rests on the bedrock. Some of this rock may have gone into forming the soil above. Okay, so there are some movements in the surface, in the layers of the earth. You will study in the higher classes that there will be movement, some in the plates of the earth. Because of those movements, these rocks sometimes go involve in the formation of the topsoil. Okay, you will study in the higher classes. So it forms above soil sometimes. In some places on earth the bedrock is found at 1 to 2 meters depth. In other places it is at 100 to 200 meters depth or even more. If somewhere, because of the construction, if someone is digging the earth layer, so you can see sometimes at the 1 to 2 meters only you will find this bedrock, some this rock layer you will find. But at some places on the earth it can be found at 100 to 200 meters also. So it can be very deep sometimes and it can be less, it can be found above the above this depth. Okay, now we will see formation of soil. Soil is formed from the breaking down of rocks. The constant action of wind, water, and ice causes the rocks to break down into tiny pieces. This breaking down of rocks is called weathering. So in the lesson rocks we have seen the breakdown of rock. So why does it happen? It happens because of the action of wind, water, and ice. So because of the high speed wind and high speed water which is flowing from the snow covered mountain, when it melts and fall with full of speed, it breaks down the rock and the particles will flow down with the water, and it goes with the water to the rivers, and through the at the bank of the river it deposits this breakdown of rocks which is carrying by the water. It deposits near the banks of the rivers. So here this soil this is the continuous process. So this soil will be forming the top layer of the soil. Okay, so this breaking down of rocks is called weathering. Over a period of time, the tiny rock pieces turn into powder to form soil. Soil consists of particles of different sizes. You can see the smallest particles are that of clay. The medium sized particles are of silt, and the largest particles are that of sand. Different types of soil contain different mixture of clay, silt, and sand. So in the different types of soil, the composition of the clay, sand, and silt will be different. Okay, so because of the quantity of this sand, silt, and clay, the different types of soils are formed, and they are uh, differently important for the growing crops. Okay, when plants and animals die, their remains decay and mix with the soil. The decayed remains of dead plants and animals in the soil form humus. Humus adds nutrients to the soil that are required for healthy growth of plants. Thus, humus increases the fertility of the soil. So where the humus is present in the soil, that soil is fertile for the crops. Fertile means that is good for growing crops. That is fit for the crops. Soil forms slowly. To a 2.5 centimeter thick layer of soil may take about 500 to 1000 years to form. So it is a very slow process. So for forming a 2.5 centimeter layer of soil, it takes 5 100 to 1000 years, it seems. So soil is a precious resource. It is important to protect soil from being blown or washed away. So children, that's it for today's video. In the next video we will see soil erosion and the conservation of soil, some steps which we should follow for conservation of soil we will see. Okay. uh, Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.